lot of pressure going on. It sounds. I tried to get a hold of Thune's office yesterday after I heard something, and I can't get a straight answer out of it. I was like, wow, there's a guy who took $600,000+ just this last time from NRA, and he better not vote for it.
We are live now on YouTube, so just to let you know that.
Yeah,
until we get rocking and rolling here, we got about 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, my internet's so crappy anymore. I probably can't make it work.
I found out some information about your neck of the woods internet down there. You know that?
Yeah.
I found out West River is the one that services you guys down that way. All right, so first off here, good morning, YouTube. Just to let you know here, if you're watching this on a rerun, we have about 10 minutes before we start. Those that are subscribing and checking in right now, let me do an audio quality test. Let me know how it sounds. KOLY and KGFX, let me know in the chat section if you guys are up and running down that way. So there you go. Let me know what's going on in your area and audio test, please. Thank you. So there you go. So anyway, West River, I golfed with the head honcho of that and the head honcho of the Dakota Carrier Network.
Yeah.
And the reason that they can't do a whole lot of work in your area is because of the reservation.
Yep, that's what I got told too.
Remember when Obama came to the reservation years ago?
Yeah, and I did a couple times, but yeah.
Okay, now the person that okay, good morning, Karen. Good to have you back in Mulbridge. I hope all the teddy bears are good. It's the largest teddy bear jail in Mulbridge, South Dakota. Is that radio station? Anyway, they called the Dakota Carrier Network and said, we would like information about internet service and broadband service to all the areas and communities and all this and this and this and this. So he puts all of it together and sends it to the White House, whoever, at that time was asking for the information. And like a day or two later, they call him back and they say, well, unfortunately, we can't use any of this information because it doesn't fit the agenda why we're coming to North Dakota.
Oh, my goodness. Wow.
Can you believe that? I can believe it.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Doesn't fit. Well, at least they admit it didn't fit their agenda.
Right. It's funny listening to these stories from all these other people with businesses,
Yeah. Well, years ago we had someone stop. I think it was Ty Ellingson, if I remember right, but I don't remember who it was, but it was from West River, and they were coming around wondering what our interest would be if they was able. They were working on a grant, probably similar to what you guys maybe had help with. I'm guessing you guys had some grants involved, didn't you?
No.
You were bringing broadband?
No, we didn't do any grant. What it was a RUS loan is what it was, basically, which there are grants that they're out there, but you have to service so many teddy bears or and haven't moved an inch.
Okay.
Well, but anyway, there are grants, but it's a little different depending on what type of how many customers you're serving and how many you're going to and all that. So,
right.
Yeah.
Well, that's they were surveying to see if we'd be interested. So, yeah, absolutely. And then they were talking fiber optics, and at last I heard on that was kind of what you just said. The reservation was the problem.
Yep.
I shouldn't say the reservation, tribal council.
The tribal council, exactly. Yeah, they have some, the tribe gets, quite a good kickback from the federal government if they don't have things like internet. So there's a reason why they don't want that.
Oh, yeah. They never have wanted competition.
So
it's unfortunate. We switched back now because HughesNet wasn't much better.
No.
And so I guess the price I pay living out here.
Not really. You live closer to any metropolitan area than I do.
Yeah.
So
I'm within a boundary of another entity.
Yeah, I know.
It'll be interesting to see what happens here.
Sovereign nation of Clay Peterson.
There we go. They're going to put a cell tower north here off of the reservation boundary on guys' private land that I know. AT&T's bringing that in. it'll be interesting to see what happens when that comes in, because visiting with them, only reason I found out, they were out here surveying and they couldn't find the guy's place. So I helped them out there, and
that's the issue with those surveys is the government sends out this, and it's like one of the ones we did at Consolidate over by Gladstone. There was they claimed there was like 173 spots, and we went through everything. We could only find like 165, and the other ones we're trying to get, and then we won't be credited because we didn't fulfill our program. Right? Well, we're like, but this, where are these other spots? They're like, well, we can't give you that information. So can you give us the latitude and longitude? And they're like, no, we can't give you that information. We're like, well, we're thinking that you guys are thinking like a homestead that's now a field.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we're thinking, but they won't tell you.
They won't tell you that.
They won't at all.
I know up here, this is all being done privately, again, off of the boundary. And the surveyor, she was actually looking for the land because that's where they know where they want to put it. And then visiting with her, she goes, yeah, we hope to have it up here in about 2 years, have everything done, completed, and up and running. And they want to offer not just cell phone, but they'd like to offer internet services. So it'll be interesting to see what they get accomplished with that. I don't know. I'm not going to hold my breath.
Yeah. All right. Good morning, Pierre. Good to have you along as well. Thank you for texting me that you're ready to go. Appreciate that. Yeah, it's a mess. What do you do? See, the bounty program in South Dakota is doing well.
I guess I haven't been paying attention to it.
I got an email from Jody down at KGFX. 50,000 tails have been turned in so far.
Really?
Yeah, mostly raccoon. 30-some thousand raccoon already. But we'll share that information when we go on air.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, $10 a tail. Some of those kids and people are getting at least a little bit of money out of it.
Yeah, I'm kind of pumped. Landon got his youth deer tag. It'll be his first one this year. So that starts, I think.
How old is he?
12. He turned 12. We got his hunter safety card this past year. I know. Turns 13 in December.
You're getting old.
Yeah. No kidding. But hand this year, sometimes I felt it too. It was
the very last bail, the very last one I made. It gets to the point, the buzzer goes off, you put the clutch in, and it starts to throw the net wrap, and it throws a code. It throws a code that I'm out of net wrap. So I walk back there and I look, and I'm like, no, there's still net wrap here. I'm like, what the heck is going on, And I look a little closer here, the belt that runs the brake on the net wrap broke. My very last bail.
Of course, on the very last bail.
Very last one. Neighbor had a spare belt that worked. So have you ever, I don't know if you run John Deere's or not, but
I ran the neighbors and they had net wrap. Yeah. Those were 569s. They were newer balers.
Yeah, that's what I have as a 569. And I you have to take the entire roller, the back roller out in order to get that belt around the roller to put it back in.
Oh, wow.
It is a 2-person job, but with a couple of fire flappers and a couple steel pipes and fence posts, I could prop it up and work it back up. And it was interesting. Here, I better watch my time here. We might be ready to go.
Oh, what time is it? I don't even know.
4 after.
Oh, yeah. Getting there.
A couple minutes.
Yeah. Well, look at that. You shaved. Holy cow.
Hey, how do you like that, huh?
You look like 10 years younger.
That's what everybody says.
Great. Says now you make me really look old.
Everybody says I got to be carded now. I don't like it because I hate shaving.
I hate to shave. If I ain't going nowhere and I ain't been out this place, like calving season, I got pretty grizzly looking.
Well, the problem with me is I get grizzly looking within a week.
Yeah, it don't take long, does it?
No.
And then it's gray. That's even more reason to shave.
And I don't have good looking gray. Like some people might have like a stripe here or something.
Mine's
patched all over the place.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
we'll see what happens when it grows back this time around. All right, 60 seconds here.
All right.
I have on the list here. I got to make sure I got my stuff ready to go here. Yep. Yep. All right. That's off. That's off. And that's off. And that's on. Well.
Wow, I'm looking at this bill. This is horrible.
I think the scariest part about it is depending on which cop likes you and doesn't like you. However, there is an issue over in Montana right now that I wish the police officer would be able to do something like this. All right, stand by here. Let's go quiet for a little bit. Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Saturday edition of Dakota Prairie Outdoors. Good to have you along here this morning as you're hearing it on great radio stations across the Dakota Territory, like KFYR out of Bismarck, KOLY, Moberg, South Dakota, also KGFX in Pierre. Got both capital cities and the Missouri River covered pretty well here. And everybody watching on YouTube as well, thanks for subscribing to my YouTube channel. As it's Dakota Prairie Outdoors Radio. If you want to go to YouTube and watch YouTube live like I am right now, you can chat with me that way. You can also call in. 888-9-DAKOTA is the phone number here as I'm back in my home studio here today at the ranch. It's located somewhere here in the Badlands of North Dakota. So 888-932-5682 is the number. That's 888-9-DAKOTA. You can also Facebook message me. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on this new thing called MeWe and everything. So if you can't find me and you can't get a hold of me, it's probably on your end. I'd like to welcome to the program Clay Peterson, Morristown, South Dakota, former field rep for the Friends of NRA program, and now just a broke rancher like me.
How you doing, Scott?
Good. How you doing this morning?
Oh, pretty good. A little foggy.
What?
Yeah, foggy here.
I haven't even looked out my window yet.
Yeah, it's I always say fog's good for moisture. We'll have to see, but wrapped up baling and just kind of getting ready to start the next fall work process.
Good. Yeah, you know what I'm doing today when I get off the radio program here today?
I don't know what you up to today.
It's preconditioning time for neighbors, where I'm helping run some calves in, preconditioned calves.
There we go.
And
you should have a good day for it.
It should be a great day. We don't have fog here right now, but you know what they say, 30 days, or was it 90 days or 45 days or whatever?
Yeah.
Supposed to get more
like
moisture. Well, we might have an early winter. Hey, did you know, okay, both North and South Dakota, there's we're looking for our deer tags. That's like the biggest season around.
Yep.
All right. And there's I think I covered this in my daily program on North Dakota. There's first come, first served deer gun licenses available starting August 8th. So that was a couple days ago. But pronghorn application deadline, if you didn't make it, you're out of it. But I saw, I think it was your buddy Bob Wheeler posted on Facebook, the Montana Extreme Hunting page.
Yeah.
Did you see all the leftover tags in Montana?
Yes, I didn't. I wasn't paying attention.
No, if you want to go hunting, I mean, a lot of it's antlerless deer, of course, but I didn't think the rates were too outrageously crazy. I think it was like $275 for some elk licenses.
Wow.
And that's non-resident. Resident was like $50 or something, but I didn't think it was too bad. Granted, they might be in units that are a little bit more difficult to find elk, I guess, but you never know.
Or they might be like Wyoming, some of them units that have leftovers. It's tough hunting, but it's hunting, so it's supposed to be a little tough.
Especially elk.
Especially elk.
Make it a little bit harder out there. So your son finally turned of age, and he's getting a deer tag. First time for a 12-year-old. How exciting is that for a dad?
Oh, I'm pumped. I'm stoked. I mean, it's an antlerless youth tag this year, but I'm okay with that. And it's all about the hunt, and I think it's a great thing. I'm really excited to take him out. I know Lake's going to join us too, just to go along because he wants to be there. And I've really gotten him. We're going out Monday. Where us and my niece's boyfriend, we're all going to go out and do a little prairie dog shooting.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm really excited. Like I said, we got haying pretty much wrapped up. We got a little time in between here, so we're going to go and enjoy it before school starts.
I had Keith and a couple other guys up for shooting prairie dogs. Keith Warren from the Pursuit Channel's The High Road. I shouldn't say that. It's not the Pursuit Channel. It's The High Road with Keith Warren on the Pursuit Channel. And you can also find them on YouTube and Vimeo and all those other social media video sources. However, remember that DPMS AR-15 I got in Mobridge, the first NRA banquet that you invited me to?
Oh, yeah, it'd been like an AP4 or something.
Yes.
I remember right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So they came up here. It was Tyler. Oh, I got their names right. Tyler Tiller. He was with Timber Creek Outdoors. Now, they're a company that make aftermarket accessories for ARs.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and good guy. I mean, these guys are good. And then his buddy, his name is Garrett Grover. And this guy not only served in the United States Marines, he came out of that and he was like, you know what? I just don't like civilian life that much. So he went back in and joined the Army and was an Army sniper for like 18 years.
Oh, wow.
So these guys are pretty good shots. But this Garrett, he started a company called Rise Armament. And you can find these all online. Now, this is pretty cool because as Garrett, I said, I said, it sure looks like your guys' companies kind of compete against each other with these aftermarket parts. He says, in a way they do. He says, but what he's trying to do is help SWAT teams and help, people that are responding to, and we'll get into talking about these mass shootings. I don't like the word mass because there's more people dying in car accidents a day than but anyway, he said, I'd like to get these SWAT members and all these, team members that are actually responding good rifles because they can't sometimes afford it on a police budget.
Right.
So he wants to build it. So he grabbed my AP4 and he looked at that thing. And he's like, no. So he took it with him and he came back to the Sturgis rally and I had to meet up with a buddy of mine. He completely went through it. And it doesn't even look like the same rifle.
Oh, wow.
I mean, we're talking new everything except the receiver part, of course, with the serial number on it. And he totally went through it.
It's like I always said, the AP4 was a great introductory AR. Mine's pretty much the receiver. I mean, there's a few other things on it too, but I had the whole inside. I had to have it rebuilt. I had another accessory on it at one time, and it didn't handle it. so we had to have that rebuilt. So it's not the same firearm either anymore. It's the receiver pretty much is what's original.
The accessory that you have to turn in one of these days?
Wouldn't know anything about it.
Come on now. Nothing that belt loop can't fix, man. I'll tell you that.
A rubber band or my finger. Yep. Yeah. It's unbelievable, ain't it? And then we're heading down that same path, it looks like now.
It is. Yeah. It looks like we're heading down that path. But before the first break here, I wanted to mention, I told this, hopefully I can get this done before we go here. The bounty program in South Dakota. So Governor Noem, said $10 per tail for this nest predator bounty program. And right now it'll close August 12th. So a couple more days. And right now, 50,000 nest predator tails have been turned in from over 3,000 participants.
Wow.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, that's a lot of safe pheasant eggs.
And dog, yeah. So raccoon tails total about 37,700 and over 5,500 skunk tails.
Wow.
Is what's been going on. Mostly, it looks like there's a lot of East River counties that have been taking part of this, but 3,000 people, and some of these people have never trapped a day in their life, and they're getting their kids out and doing it, and I think it's a great idea.
I do too. I like the idea of it, and I know that the premise behind it was great. It's probably introduced a lot of people. I know there was a lot of, people were talking about how it was funded. That's a whole other topic. But as far as the idea of what it did, it was a good thing, and it created probably a bunch of lifetime hunters and trappers now.
I hope so. And that's the thing. Most of these ideas start with good intentions.
Yep.
And then the funding thing that gets in the way. But anyway, we're up against our first break here, Clay. So we're gonna take a short break here. We're gonna listen to my sponsors. We're gonna listen to sponsors also on the radio stations here that help me out with this show. Also, we're gonna come back and talk about gun control, mass shootings. Oh my God, and all that scary stuff that goes along with it. Here, we'll be back. Dakota Prairie Outdoors on KFYR, Bismarck, KOLY, Mobridge, and KGFX, Pierre, South Dakota. Back right after these.
Dakota Community Bank and Trust is happy to serve the communities we are in, whether it's sponsoring a local team or rodeo, helping take tickets, or having a good neighbor club loyalty event. We are thankful for the great communities we live in. Without the community, we are just a bank. Please visit us at any of our 11 locations to learn more about us. We're in Bismarck, Bowman, Dickinson, Glen Ullin, Hebron, Taylor, Lincoln, Mandan, and New Leipzig. Dakota Community Bank and Trust. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Mandan Sporting Goods, 210 East Main. Again, sitting with Joe, talking about deer hunting coming around the corner. When it comes to the deer list, you don't think about your wife's deer list. It's deer hunting, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. She doesn't make very good venison.
Let's talk about the rifles for deer season here. You got plenty of them to choose from, but name like some of the top three that people are coming in and they're just flying off the shelf.
Well, I would say the Marlins, Ruger Americans, of course, the Remingtons, of course. Savage is a super gun out of the box. They're as good as any of them as far as accuracy right out of the box.
What are some of the special things that coming around deer season, like optics, ammunition people are looking at? I know rangefinders are kind of big, and you guys carry a full line of optics as well.
Rangefinders is quite a thing. I mean, you got your cheaper ones, you get your higher ones. If you're going to buy one, you may as well buy a good one that'll get out there.
Mandan Sporting Goods, it's 210 East Main. Stop by.
We want amazing innovations to drive progress for generations. We want jobs and careers for generations. We want American energy production that protects our land and the wildlife for generations. Today, the advanced technologies deployed by the North Dakota oil and gas producers are making that happen. And with the promise of emerging technologies, the energy of North Dakota has a very bright future for generations to come. This message is brought to you by the North Dakota Petroleum Council. To learn more, visit energyofnorthdakota.com. Pifer's Western team of Andy Murdoch and Jim Sabby would like to invite you to sit down and talk about the future of land planning. Whether you're looking at selling, buying, or options to hand it down to the next generation, Andy and Jim will lay out all of the options for you. It's a great time to buy or sell, and with interest rates to make it profitable. Pifer's Western team, Andy Murdoch and Jim Sabby. For more information or land updates, go to pifers.com.
Hi, everybody. This is Scott Bachmeyer, and besides being the host of Dakota Prairie Outdoors Radio and also a rancher in the Badlands, I'm also an auctioneer. So if you're looking to auction off property, maybe you have farm equipment, a production sale coming up, even a benefit or a fundraiser, I'm the guy that can help you out. Maybe you're listening and you have your own auction company and you find yourself short of help sometimes. I can step up as an auctioneer or even help as a ringman. Give me a call, send me a message, 701-425-6651. That's 701-425-6651. Western Frontier Insurance. Agents that understand you, your needs, and the community. Whether you're looking for coverage on your farm, ranch, home, or auto, you can trust that Western Frontier Insurance will find you a combination of price and coverage that works for you. No fancy jingles, no talking boxes or animals, just good neighbors helping to keep you covered. Western Frontier Insurance. Offices in Hazen, Washburn, and Wilton.
Pifer's Western team of Andy Murdoch and Jim Sabby would like to invite you to sit down and talk about the future of land planning. Whether you're looking at selling, buying, or options to hand it down to the next generation, Andy and Jim will lay out all of the options for you. It's a great time to buy or sell, and with interest rates to make it profitable. Pifer's Western team, Andy Murdoch and Jim Sabby. For more information or land updates, go to pifers.com.
Mandan Sporting Goods, 210 East Main. You can't find a better place. Joe's with me here. We're talking personal protection. I'll tell you what, Joe, everybody's looking for a good handgun. What do you have?
Oh, we pretty much got them all. We got the LCPs, we got the LCP with the laser, we got that little Taurus, we got the Bersa 380s, Caltech 9, Smith & Wesson 38s, Ruger 38s, with or without the laser. You can get a Smith ultralight with the laser, with the short hammer if you want, or enclosed. You got Beretta. We got the new one, the Nano. We got the Colt Defenders in. Those are really nice. The new Ruger SR22. It might be 22, but it's still a good all-around gun.
Now, if you're tough enough to wear pink, I see a pistol on the side of your hip right now with pink handguards. What's up with that?
Well, that's pretty nice, but you have to be a real man to hold a pink one, but nobody will mess with you.
210 East Main. It's Mandan Sporting Goods. Stop by.
The North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame now open 7 days a week in historic Medora. Plan to come spend some time with us and absorb all that is new for 2019. We have a new digital display as well as stunning photography and more in the Hall of Honorees, new displays throughout the museum, and more. Follow the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame on Facebook and learn more about us at NorthDakotaCowboy.com. And consider becoming a member today at the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame. Come ride with us into the future, proudly honoring and preserving our past.
Welcome back to Dakota Prairie Outdoors. Saturday edition continues on K-Fire in Bismarck, also KLY and Mobridge and KGFX Pierce, South Dakota. Good to have you along. Clay Peterson from Morristown, South Dakota is my guest. Clay, welcome back to the program. You there?
I'm still here. Got my Dakota Prairie Outdoors coffee cup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man. You know what I have? Well, are you watching on YouTube as well?
I am, but it's delayed.
Okay. So I'm going to hold this up there when it's delayed. I'm going to see if you can recognize that cup. Okay.
Okay.
So once it comes to your slow internet that you have right now.
Yeah, I got
I have to
dinosaur
thank
internet.
I have to thank Consolidated Communications out of Dickinson for mine because, man, it's fast.
You've got better internet than when I go like to Rapid City.
I have better internet than Sanford Health has right now.
I don't doubt it. Okay, you're holding up a clear cup.
Yeah, there you go. Can you recognize that?
I do not. It looks almost. I don't know. I have no clue.
Have you ever fed Milk Replacer?
Okay, I was wondering maybe.
There you go.
Yep, now I know what it is.
Yeah, you got to save Milk Replacer cups.
Hey, they work great.
Did it when we were kids, and my mom did it all the time. Our old cupboard was full of them, and
all of them.
Get some bum calves in the spring, and I just can't let a plastic cup go.
That's too good of a deal, right?
It is. 888-9-DAKOTA. That's 888-932-5682 is the number if you want to call in and join in. We're going to talk about gun control and gun laws and why we need them, right, Clay? I mean, we need more gun control laws. So legal citizens have a harder time, but the criminals can still do whatever they want.
And it goes back to the same thing we've said many times on this show and every place else. Criminals are criminals because they break the law, and another law is going to do nothing but affect those of us who already follow it. And the plain and simple thing is I was kind of, like I said, I was busy, so I wasn't paying a lot of attention, but I'm in the tractor all day. You know how that is. You hear the radio, and I keep hearing, the terminology is everything too, and what they're doing here. This is agenda driven, has nothing to do with anything but that control and agenda. And there isn't one single law that they can pass that will stop any of it. Mm-hmm. There just isn't. Now, will it make it difficult in some instances? Possibly, depending on what's passed, but
sure.
It's not going to stop it ever. Evil people do evil things. It's in their heart. When you start thinking about other things that have affected that. I mean, we used to take guns to school. I had one of my shop projects was the restoration of one of my grandpa's 22s. Had it in my locker. Not a thing was thought about it. Okay. What has changed? Well, it sure isn't the fact that the guns have. I mean, they're still available. Many people still have them. But I think society's values have changed.
That's a given. I guarantee that here. So, Clay, we have a caller coming in here, so let's go here to our first caller. Welcome to the program. What's on your mind today?
Morning, gents.
Hey,
Jamie from Interstate 94 here.
Good morning, Jamie. How you doing today?
I'm doing awesome this morning. How about you guys?
Doing good.
Pretty darn good. You bet. Don't you agree when more gun laws are going to help keep us, the legal people, under control?
Oh, yeah, that's great. It's hopefully North Dakota looks like Chicago pretty soon, especially Cook County, right? That would be awesome with all that gun control.
Well, hold on.
Like Disneyland around.
I have a question for both of you guys. They say the first one, what was it? 2 people got killed, and they called it a mass shooting.
Mm-hmm.
And the same day, there was 7 people in Minnesota car wreck. All 7 got killed, but you didn't hear that called a mass accident.
Yeah.
So what's the difference there? I think both of them should be recognized the same.
Well, the anti-gunners will tell you that's an accident and not somebody committing murder. So, I mean, that's their excuse for that, what I've ever seen them say. But I don't know what Clay's answer for that is.
Well, it's about the agenda. And the interesting thing is one's a right and one's actually a privilege. Having a firearm's a right, but we call that a mass shooting because they'd like to get rid of it. But driving, we'll let that one go. I mean, there's just so many things that actually, harm, injure, or kill people more than firearms ever do. But that doesn't fit the agenda.
Yeah.
Well, right before I called in, your show came on, actually, Scott, I was listening to the news, and then they're talking about, Trump talking about improving these background checks, and then right after he was on there, played some Democrats saying how the millions that the NRA has pumped into these politicians that have their way in D.C. Well, yeah, he's right. The NRA has put millions in, but guess what? The anti-gunners have put 10 times the amount of money into fighting your Second Amendment rights than the NRA ever has.
Yeah.
We always forget to mention that. And I haven't kept up to speed on what they say they're going to improve this background check. Maybe Clay knows. I know they had that fixed NICS bill was in last year that never went through. Apparently they said they need to give more people's records from the state to the federal database or anything, but I don't know. I thought they accessed the FBI's thing on this background checks, and I'm pretty sure the FBI knows about everything they want to know about you, but maybe you got some input on that. Either you guys heard what their plan is to fix NICS. I think they should fix the ATF so I can get my damn suppressors faster.
Well, I can tell you the one bill that's been passed for sure out of the House, and that's H.R. 8. And it went over to the Senate in March, and that basically is the bill that will require every single firearm transfer, whatever type it is, to be run through an FFL dealer. And that's what they're talking about with the background check. As far as universal, you've heard that terminology, universal background checks. They haven't been able to do it for a long time. They've been trying to chip away at this, and this is just a crazy bill. And I was reading through some of the things in it. Of course, you know who's all exempt from that? There's lots of exemptions, mostly governmental agencies and law enforcement. They're all exempt.
Well,
they got Jedi powers.
So you guys,
they know how to use the guns. We don't,
But every single gun that I've purchased, granted I have my concealed carry, but that was a fingerprint photo and it was a background check. And every gun that I buy, even if before I had my concealed carry, they did a background check. So how are they going to improve background checks when they already have them?
They can't.
Yeah, exactly.
The only thing they want to do is they want a subject. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Jimmy.
Clay. All right, I'll go. All these guys pass background checks. What's it going to do? It's just going to, a right, okay, to go by what the Democrats always say, a right delayed is a right denied. Well, you're delaying my rights even more than so. You're denying me my right. These guys already passed background checks. What more can you do? I mean,
can we agree that there is some type, these guys that do go in a Walmart and shoot, or even in Mandan, they had a stabbing. Remember yesterday, didn't they?
Yeah, yesterday.
Yesterday. So there is a mental health issue with these people doing that. Is there anything a person can do to curb that?
I don't see how you can do anything as far as that wouldn't trample your rights. I don't know what the answer is on that, but I can tell you this: if they do a red flag law and give that authority to a law enforcement or some other authoritative figure, that's going to be a horrible road down and a path we don't want to take, because who's going to make that decision, or who's going to say, oh, I don't really like this guy, but I know him. Boy, in high school, he did some weird things. He's not mentally stable, and then they go take his gun.
Yep.
That's the problem I see with this.
Yeah, or the somebody that doesn't really like you either.
Yep.
You could be mentally stable as you can be, but if somebody doesn't like you and they have the authority to take that gun away from you, they're going to probably do it.
That's right.
And then if they do, and you got to go to court, and then you got to pay court fees. What's my pocketbook against the government's? Yeah, I'm going to win that battle, all right.
It's my pocketbook. It's my pocketbook paying for the government against you, Jamie. Come on.
Yeah, you're cut. Yeah, why don't you just go ahead and cut your own throat? We'll sit here and watch. And yeah, pretty much.
And you take the example of a red flag law, and you look at what happens. What they're saying is, well, let's make a red flag law, and we have these identifiers that would set people off so that we can prevent this before it happens. When Connecticut happened out there, was it Virginia? It was the one that happened out on the East Coast.
I tell you what, Clay, hold on to that thought. Jamie, hold on to the line here. We're up against our next break. So we're gonna come back. We're going to continue talking here and have an open conversation about this. More coming up. K-Fire 550 in Bismarck. KOLY, Mulbridge, South Dakota, and KGFX in Pierre, South Dakota. We're going to be back. And also, everybody on YouTube watching, I appreciate that. Dakota Prairie Outdoors Radio on my YouTube live channel. We'll be back. More talk on gun control after these messages.
Dakota Community Bank and Trust is happy to serve the communities we are in, whether it's sponsoring a local team or rodeo, helping take tickets, or having a good neighbor club loyalty event. We are thankful for the great communities we live in. Without the community, we are just a bank. Please visit us at any of our 11 locations to learn more about us. We're in Bismarck, Bowman, Dickinson, Glen Ullin, Hebron, Taylor, Lincoln, Mandan, and New Leipzig. Dakota Community Bank and Trust. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Mandan Sporting Goods, 210 East Main. Again, sitting with Joe talking about deer hunting coming around the corner. When it comes to the deer list, you don't think about your wife's deer list. It's deer hunting, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. She doesn't make very good venison.
Let's talk about the rifles for deer season here. You got plenty of them to choose from, but name like some of the top three that people are coming in and they're just flying off the shelf.
Well, I would say the Marlins, Ruger Americans, of course, the Remingtons, of course. Savage is a super gun out of the box. They're as good as any of them as far as accuracy right out of the box.
What are some of the special things that come around deer season, like optics, ammunition people are looking at? I know rangefinders are kind of big, and you guys carry a full line of optics as well.
Rangefinders is quite a thing. I mean, you got your cheaper ones, you get your higher ones. If you're going to buy one, you may as well buy a good one that'll get out there.
Mandan Sporting Goods, it's 210 East Main. Stop by.
We want amazing innovations to drive progress for generations. We want jobs and careers for generations. We want American energy production that protects our land and the wildlife for generations. Today, the advanced technologies deployed by the North Dakota oil and gas producers are making that happen. And with the promise of emerging technologies, the energy of North Dakota has a very bright future for generations to come. This message is brought to you by the North Dakota Petroleum Council. To learn more, visit energyofnorthdakota.com. Pifer's Western team of Andy Murdoch and Jim Sabby would like to invite you to sit down and talk about the future of land planning. Whether you're looking at selling, buying, or options to hand it down to the next generation, Andy and Jim will lay out all of the options for you. It's a great time to buy or sell, and with interest rates to make it profitable. Pifer's Western team, Andy Murdoch and Jim Sabby. For more information or land updates, go to pifers.com. Hi, everybody. This is Scott Bachmeyer, and besides being the host of Dakota Prairie Outdoors Radio and also a rancher in the Badlands, I'm also an auctioneer. So if you're looking to auction off property, maybe you have farm equipment, a production sale coming up, even a benefit or a fundraiser, I'm the guy that can help you out. Maybe you're listening and you have your own auction company and you find yourself short of help sometimes. I can step up as an auctioneer or even help as a ringman. Give me a call, send me a message, 701-425-6651. That's 701-425-6651. Western Frontier Insurance. Agents that understand you, your needs, and the community. Whether you're looking for coverage on your farm, ranch, home, or auto, you can trust that Western Frontier Insurance will find you a combination of price and coverage that works for you. No fancy jingles, no talking boxes or animals, just good neighbors helping to keep you covered. Western Frontier Insurance. Offices in Hazen, Washburn, and Wilton. Pifer's Western team of Andy Murdoch and Jim Sabby would like to invite you to sit down and talk about the future of land planning. Whether you're looking at selling, buying, or options to hand it down to the next generation, Andy and Jim will lay out all of the options for you. It's a great time to buy or sell, and with interest rates to make it profitable. Pifer's Western team, Andy Murdoch and Jim Sabby. For more information or land updates, go to pifers.com. Mandan Sporting Goods, 210 East Main. You can't find a better place. Joe's with me here. We're talking personal protection. I'll tell you what, Joe, everybody's looking for a good handgun. What do you have?
Oh, we pretty much got them all. We got the LCPs, we got the LCP with the laser, we got that little Taurus, we got the Bersa 380s, Caltech 9, Smith & Wesson 38s, Ruger 38s, with or without the laser. You get a Smith ultralight with the laser, with the short hammer if you want, or enclosed. You got Beretta. We got the new one, the Nano. We got the Colt Defenders in. Those are really nice. The new Ruger SR22. It might be 22, but it's still a good all-around gun.
Now, if you're tough enough to wear pink, I see a pistol on the side of your hip right now with pink handguards. What's up with that?
Well, that's pretty nice, but you have to be a real man to hold a pink one, you know. But nobody will mess with you.
210 East Main. It's Mandan Sporting Goods. Stop by.
The North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame, now open 7 days a week in historic Medora. Plan to come spend some time with us and absorb all that is new for 2019. We have a new digital display as well as stunning photography and more in the Hall of Honorees, new displays throughout the museum, and more. Follow the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame on Facebook and learn more about us at NorthDakotaCowboy.com. And consider becoming a member today at the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame. Come ride with us into the future, proudly honoring and preserving our past.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Saturday edition of Dakota Prairie Outdoors on KFIR in Bismarck, KOLY, Mobridge, and also KGFX Pierce, South Dakota. And everybody that's watching, I see a few more people are subscribing, watching here on the YouTube live channel. Good to have you folks along there, too. If you want to call in and join in on the conversation, it's 888-9-DAKOTA. That's 888-932-5682. It is a toll-free number, by the way, and I won't want to try to change your car warranty. Clay Peterson is my guest here today, as Morristown, South Dakota is his hometown, and we are talking a little bit about, gun control and all that good stuff. Let's bring Jamie back into the mix here on the I-94 here. Jamie, good. Are you back with us?
Yeah.
Okay.
You bet.
All right. So, Clay, you were talking before the break here where the question was what's in some of these bills here, and go ahead. You were explaining something about Sandy Hook shooting.
Yeah, they talk about, when you're talking about the red flag bill, and I know that's being discussed heavily right now. But you take Sandy Hook to happen. I'm not going to mention the guy's name. I know it, but I don't like making killers famous that way. So
yep, I agree.
He went in there and committed a horrible thing. There's no doubt about that. But no red flag law that they've ever proposed or I've seen, or even some states that have passed, would have stopped that. You know why? His firearms were at his parents' place, and he took them. And she did the background checks. She did everything legal, so nothing. So there was a guy that stole a firearm, which a felony, took it and used it in a horrible situation, again, felony. He broke several laws there. So tell me how that's going to stop anything.
Right.
It's just one of how many examples that are out there.
No, we were also discussing over the break here. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jamie.
I was just going to say, not only did he take her firearms, he murdered her with a knife first.
That too, yeah. He took out his own mother, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we were discussing during the break here, Jamie, about portion of this bill that Clay's explaining to me. Said that, or Clay, you can probably go ahead and explain it, about the transfer of firearms, not only between you and your wife or you and your kids. Explain that again.
Yeah, I haven't. It's a long bill, but I was reading parts of it. Basically, what will happen here is, if you can prove in a reasonable manner, I believe is the wording in the bill, that it's a gift to your spouse, that wouldn't have to go through the background check, which is the 4473. Just so everyone knows, the background check they're talking about, there's nothing new about it.
No.
The 4473 form done through the ATF. And you have to do that for all new firearms purchases through an FFL. Nothing's changed there. Well, now they want you to do that with every single firearm. So
if I'm selling one to Jamie for a couple $100, we have to go to an FFL, pay whatever they want to pay, $20, $25 some people charge, and have the paperwork done that way.
Yep. And here's the interesting thing. I'm combing through it a little more, but I can see nothing in this bill that would limit an FFL dealer to what he can charge. So think about that one.
Right.
So, but yes, you'd have to do
my
that.
first thought right there too.
And now you get into, like you and I were visiting. Say me and my wife both would, be in an accident.
Right.
And my kids now are going to be out there, they're with their grandparents. Well, if I have a big firearms collection, I can't leave any of them to them, according to this bill, without every single one of them firearms through an FFL trip.
So if I have a special rifle like the one I was talking to you about, my 1903 Springfield, my first deer rifle, I got my first muley deer with it, I couldn't leave that to anybody without having to go through paperwork.
Correct.
But if you have an accident, you never know what's going to happen. How do you know when to do that paperwork? You just never know.
Yeah. And you think about some of these firearms collections, like mine, it's actually in my will and where they go.
Right.
Well, now they're going to absolutely know. Do you think they're not going to go check that out when that comes up and go, let's see what's in his will?
Yep.
This is just a bad path with way too many consequences that infringe upon rights.
So what could we do? And our three infinite wisdom minds right here on the radio. What can be done? I mean, we know that these people are, they got something off balance to be able to think about that much evil to go do this. What can be done?
I don't think you're ever going to stop it. I mean, there definitely, in my mind, there's no law that's going to stop it. I think, in my mind, the only way you could maybe contain it a little bit is, to just allow people to carry their weapons around in more places, have more security. Other than that, what else can you do? I mean, these guys pass all the laws to get their guns, and I don't know, magazine capacity limits, they try that too. That doesn't work.
Yeah.
The answer is not at Congress. I mean, that's not a federal law that's going to abide for every situation won't work. It never will, never has. They've tried it, several different things.
Well, hold on now, Clay. They have federal law on speeding, and that works. I never speed.
Yeah, that works great, don't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I rode with both of you guys. I know better than that.
Hey, we got a lot of miles to cover. We can't mess around with that speed limit.
It's your story. Go ahead.
Hey, you made it. You got nothing to complain about, Jamie. You made it.
I did. Hey, if you remember, I just told you we come back from, heck, I don't remember where we met Scott, but I asked you if you were going to drive that fast again. You said, yeah, and I said, I'm just going to close my eyes and go to sleep.
Yeah.
Which I did, but you got me back in one piece. I was safe and sound.
There we go. But you're getting back. I agree, Jamie. There's no way, there's no law that's ever going to fix this. Now, let's look. You know how we always talk about gun laws, enforced laws on the books, which, oh my goodness, there's over 20-some thousand laws in Title 18, which is where most firearms laws are found. So let's look at another situation. There's already laws on the book, and that is basically mental disorders. And family members, you can go through a process pretty easily if you suspect one of your family members that has a serious mental incapacity.
Who's going to do that, though, Clay? Who's going to, you know what I mean? I mean, what parent wants to say that about their child, or what child wants to say that about their brother or friend or anybody? That's a hard thing to
It very much is, which, you know what, that kind of proves the point with the red flag, because when it comes to a family member and a red flag law, they're the ones that got to make that particular complaint as well. So are they going to do it?
Right.
I had a friend.
It's a feel-good, knee-jerk reaction law. That's all these are. They feel like they got to do something, wrong or right. We're going to pass a law, and then we'll see what happens. I mean, that's what this is coming down to.
I got a message.
100% right.
Here's a message from over in the Hettinger area. The only thing that these new laws will accomplish is to drive a deeper underground market on guns, and we know that these laws only hurt law-abiding citizens.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
It happens every time. Look, remember when the magazine, after the, quote, assault weapons ban went through and it limited magazine-capable rounds and things like that, what did it do to 40-round, 30-round, and 20-round mags? Like tripled the price.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
And you could buy all the Magpul or whatever brand you wanted, 20-plus round mags, hold on to them, and in a few years, because I did it, I sold a few, and I tripled and quadrupled my money. I mean, I'm an entrepreneur and a capitalist.
I can't believe you would do that, Clay. I mean, I thought you were a socialist all day long.
Yeah.
You guys were talking about the red flag. I had a friend once, and him and his wife got in an argument one night or something, and police were called. When the police were there, they knew that he had firearms, and they asked his wife, do we have your permission to take his guns? And they could have. She didn't give him permission. Well, they got all their stuff straightened out eventually, but they could have taken his guns right there. So, I mean, there is, like Clay said, they didn't even have to go through anything. All they would have needed was her permission, and it was perfectly legal to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And,
here's another message from a buddy of mine listening in Minnesota right now, probably watching on YouTube here. He says, guns don't kill people. Planned Parenthood kills people.
That they do. Way more than guns. I tell you what, guys, I'm on Highway 49. I'm going to lose you up here in about 1 mile, so I'm going to let you go. So, Scotty, scout out that big antelope for me. I got 6 points, so if I get drawn, let's get it done.
All right, sounds good. I'll be more than happy to help you out.
Take it easy, Jamie.
Later, boys. Good talking to you.
You bet. See you later. So, so we were talking about how are you going to decide or turn in or tell somebody that if you're mentally unstable, or your family member, it is a tough thing to do, Clay. And I don't think it's I just don't think people are going to do that, even if they see the signs. And we all know people like this.
I actually have a personal experience with that, and he was an alcoholic, and I can tell you right now, we knew it. All of us in the family knew it, and it took us a while to come to that grip, I guess, or to that conclusion. And we tried to basically help him, and of course, he just didn't accept the help. It came down one night to us having to call a sheriff, and his child calling me, which would be my nephew, afraid because he was sitting there with a gun. Now, I was more mad because I had the gun. We should have probably done something sooner, and we didn't. We didn't do enough, probably. But it forced me to go in there and act like a police officer. Honestly, I put my training that I've had, which I'm not a cop, but I've had a lot of training, and I was able to get him to come out, and we had to have him. He was arrested and taken away, and. Yeah. So
it's not a fun thing, is it?
You're right. It's not, and that was a horrible situation. And that was a family member, and we all knew it. So you're right. It's tough. When do you make that call that you go in and you actually bring in more people?
It's no different than having elderly parents. When do you make the call of pulling the keys away from their vehicle, or when do you make the call that they need assisted living?
It's tough.
Yeah, it is. I mean, imagine that with the capability of, and the same thing. If somebody's out driving and they shouldn't be, they have the potential to injure people. There's no doubt about it.
Well, it comes down to, and I think partially, I got relatives that live. In fact, I was just at a family reunion that live out in Chicago area, and for us, we live free essentially. I mean, we're pretty free people out here and free thinkers. So I think it's tougher for us to make these decisions, like you're talking about, because we look at it and go, gosh, we wouldn't want someone to do that to us. And we couldn't imagine being stuck in a nursing home or not being able to drive, things like that, where when I had them conversations with them, they didn't see no big deal with it. Oh, we do it. I was like, really? No, but I think they're so used to living under a thumb that it really isn't a big deal to them.
Okay, well, let's turn the page here a little bit to... remember the Prairie Dog commercial that I got banned playing here?
Yeah, that was a great commercial.
Okay. It was just a spoof commercial, right? It was a joke about, kind of playing off Sarah McLaughlin's whole, I don't know, ASPC, whatever it is. But anyway, so YouTube got a little bit mad at me, and I had to pull them off of YouTube. I accidentally put it in one of my daily programs, and it was played on a few radio stations, and man, there was one person that just lit up social media and was pretty upset on Scott Bachmeier. He was not a fan, but he listened to the program of it.
He listened to the program.
But here's the thing with it is, could some people listen to that commercial and think that this Scott guy, he's mental because he's trying to save prairie dogs, right? I mean, and this guy's like, is this a joke or is it real? Of course it's a joke. I did, however, receive it. It was $20 to save a prairie dog. I did receive a $10 bill in the mail. And
wow.
And they said, we want to see half of a prairie dog.
Okay. So they were playing on it too.
They were having a good time too. So, I mean, why not have fun with it? But, you could see how that could turn into somebody looking at that. I mean, if you're downtown Minneapolis and you see this on YouTube and they're thinking, this guy's not mentally stable. And who makes that judgment call? Because there you go.
Exactly. Because I can tell you what, I'm not willing to give that kind of authority to anybody in government, and I mean all the way down to my local sheriff.
I'm not willing to give that authority to most of the people I know.
Exactly. It comes down to, especially in today's world, where it's so vindictive or it's so two-sided. You know what I mean? There's hard lines drawn that somebody would do that just to make your life miserable, whether they have evidence or not. I mean, I see it. Think about around here with land and some neighbors that get into dispute over their fences.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that?
Well, and Jesse just sent me a message. He says, how many of us will actually pull the keys away from a drunk friend?
I've done it. Because I've
But every time?
pretty adamant. Not every time. no.
Exactly. You know, that's the
And
thing.
and Jesse's absolutely right. How many people even do it?
Yeah.
Obviously not enough. We still have drunk drivers. And
Don't
by
you-
the way, that's
how-
illegal.
How is that? There's a law against that. How can that be?
Yeah, there's a law against it. There's a law against murder. We have laws against murder. That works pretty good, don't it?
Yeah. I don't know. So on a brighter side, the last 5 minutes of the program, let's talk
We've
about
been on here an hour already. Holy cow!
It goes, doesn't it?
Yes.
You know, when you're as smart as we are, look how, I don't have the golden microphone. Mine is a powder coated black microphone.
You have a golden microphone and an Attila Hun chair.
Yeah. So last night, Amadon Fire Department, if you're cruising on Highway 85, and the only reason I push this a little bit more, okay, very quick, but also here the red flag law rule will have tons of scorned exes and mad or jealous individuals, some that don't even know you. They'll be calling you in to the police and they'll have no choice but that. Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
Absolutely.
Hold on,
That's what will happen.
text message. Black microphones are racist in this day and age.
Oh, wow.
All right. Okay. Well, I appreciate you guys listening and texting in here on that. Yeah. Well, anyway, okay. So, Amadon Fire Department. Now, their only fundraiser is this burgers, brats, and beer. And they have brisket this year. Okay. It's phenomenal.
Oh, they added
And
to
they have
that.
more than just beer. They have the soda pop and all that kind of stuff. Their only fundraiser, and coming back from an auction in Bismarck yesterday, I stopped in and had a little eats and a beer and talked to a few people, and they're asking me, Clay, they're like, where do we get these North Dakota lockout signs? There's a whole bunch of people that are just now thinking, hey, we need to start posting our signs, and getting this up because, well, hunting season, it's just around the corner. We got antelope season, archery season starting up here pretty quick. So where can they find these signs if they want to get these?
Well, if they want to order online, and if you do that, then you can actually go on there and have your name imprinted on them. And that's at MinutemanSignsInc.com.
Okay.
And you can search the aluminum or the poly, and it's right there. They have them North Dakota lockout signs. They're pretty easy to find. They're pretty inexpensive, actually, for what you're getting as well. And that's, if you're going online, that's the easiest way to do it. If you want, you can contact me, and you can call me at 701-522-3609, and I have a limited amount on hand here as well, and I can get you in touch with the other people that would have some maybe on hand as well.
Was the farm?
They're starting to fly off the shelves. I know that.
Wasn't the Farm Bureau going to sponsor some of those?
I don't know what happened with the actual Farm Bureau.
Okay.
I know that Daryl's involved there, but I don't think as Farm Bureau right now.
Sure.
I know that he's very involved as far as getting his place and in that area. So I know that they're out there right now, and rough estimate is we're at about 250,000 acres.
Okay.
It's grown quite a bit since we've been visiting, and just in the last 2 weeks, the traffic picked up on the page again, as well as the signs are starting to, people are calling in to Minuteman, and they're placing orders of 250, 500. There was 1,000 sign order here recently, so
Yeah.
they're going out there, and I think about our place, which is approximately 3,100 acres, and I put up 20 signs. So if someone's ordering 1,000 signs, that's a lot of land.
Well, that or they're posting them in every spot they can get to.
That could be too. Yeah. And it's one of them things where if you read the sign, it's access restricted. It's up to each landowner how they want to implement this.
Yep.
But this is more about, there has to be some kind of ground where we can get together on this and come up with legislation that will protect private property rights. It's just that simple.
And I know my friends in South Dakota, they said it hasn't changed anything down there for years and years and years. So I don't know.
As far as what the
Access or
signage?
hunting and
Oh,
all that, everybody says, well,
No.
it's going to affect the hunting numbers. And
it hasn't
think it will.
messed up any state.
No.
I went over to Montana last fall and went, waterfowl hunting, and we had public land, but we were able to gain access on
Right.
private land by asking, and wasn't a big deal.
Yep.
So
All right.
I don't see what the big deal is. But
No.
hey, one quick thing.
Very
John
quick.
Palczewski, I feel for you, buddy. I saw the pictures. That was a nasty storm went through there. But
Yeah.
I guess, like he said, he's got 2 weeks extra coyote hunting now.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, Clay. Stay on the phone here. I'll talk to you a little bit afterwards, okay?
Sounds good. Yep.
You bet. Thanks for coming on. Clay Peterson, Morristown, South Dakota. I'm Scott Bachmeyer. This is Dakota Prairie Outdoors Radio. Thanks for tuning in and seeing me on YouTube as well. All right, everybody on YouTube. Thanks for watching. Thanks for checking in. Please, again, share it with folks and see if we can get more subscribers. Have yourself a great day. All right.